Hello and welcome to Question Time from Channels TV's global headquarters, Lagos. I'm Benga Ashiru. What do we make of the scary statistics of Nigeria's Corruption Perception Index, which places Nigeria at number 148 in the world, with a performance score sheet of 27%? While the federal government insists it's doing its best to fight corruption, Transparency International frowns at what it describes as federal government's hobnobbing with alleged looters. Transparency International also scores Nigeria low on its asset recovery program. According to the international watchdog, it says the asset recovery program has no management framework to ensure recovered funds are not relooted. Our guest on today's episode of the show is the chairman of Transparency International and the executive director of Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, Mr. Awal Musa Rafsanjani. He joins us on the show.
It's very disappointing that the only state in the Federation that has an anti-corruption agency is now being threatened by this kind of kangaroo, court ruling. We think it is a calculated...
Why do you call it a kangaroo court ruling?
Yeah, because it is not done in the public interest. Any ruling that is not done in the public interest, any ruling that is not meant to stop corruption, any ruling that is meant to give room for corrupt people to have their way, as far as we are concerned, is not in the best interest of the public and the country and the people, of the state. And therefore, as far as we are concerned, that ruling, is not, a ruling that we should take it seriously, or we should just joke with. We have to do something to ensure that a necessary appeal and stay of execution is actually done. For us, it's
But what does the law say? Because if there is no provision for the State Anti-Corruption Commission to investigate cases as such, it would not be out of order for the court to give such ruling, because the court is only bound by law to give its ruling.
Very interesting. The actually law establishing Kano State Anti-Corruption, Commission and Public Complaint, established in 2008 as amended, clearly, in its function, stated that they can actually investigate, they can actually, arrest. And for you to say that the investigation department and the police attached to it be disbanded, I think, it is really rather unfortunate, because the law is very clear that, they can actually investigate and they can actually, have a department, which is manned by actually competent police officers.
How independent is the Kano Anti-Corruption Commission?
The law clearly, gives it independence, and what we are seeing now is a zero threat to the fight against corruption, because being the only state in the Federation that has a replicate of anti-corruption agency in the country, like EFCC or ICPEC, is being threatened. Secondly, the commission, under its leadership, is co-chairing the open government partnership, in Kano.
But don't you think the whole structure of a state having its anti-corruption commission, where the chairman or the head of the commission is being appointed by the governor of the state, don't you think it runs contrary to the law of common sense?
Well, the law establishing, the state, independent, or rather anti-corruption, in Kano, states how the leadership of that commission should be. So it is not even the contestation about the leadership of the commission. It is a calculated attempt by some people who have been investigated or who are under investigation, that they have actually found their way to make sure that they get injection that will paralyze the activities of the commission. And as far as we are concerned, as an anti-corruption activist, as an anti-corruption organization that is supporting public, institutions that are serious about minimizing corruption, we are actually supporting this commission to ensure that its independence, its autonomy, its effectiveness is actually done, because people in Kano are happy with that commission. A lot of extortion, a lot of injustice is done to many people. When they go to that commission, they get, justice there. They get relief. So that is why we thought, whatever the court or the judge should do, he should look at the public interest, not the interest of some few individuals who are under investigation, who have gone to seek for injunction to stop and paralyze the activities of the commission.
We can't talk about this development in Kano without making reference to the bribery allegation against the governor of Kano State. When you look at the ruling, the court ruling, restraining the ad hoc panel of investigation set up by the Kano Assembly, what do you make of such ruling?
I don't think this ruling, should actually stay, because the State Assembly clearly has the power to investigate, to conduct public hearing, investigative hearing, and there's nothing, under our constitution that shows that they cannot do that. So as far as I'm concerned, that ruling cannot actually go anywhere.
Does that not undermine the immunity clause of the governor?
No, immunity, is about, prosecuting a sitting president or a sitting governor or vice president or deputy governor. It doesn't stop, investigating an allegation against the president or vice president or governor or deputy governor. The immunity does not cover that they should do whatever they want to do without being investigated. They can be investigated, and after their tenure, if they are confirmed to be guilty, they can be prosecuted. So if the court is saying that the State Assembly has no power to do that, I think, it's really it's something that's, really not within the compound of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that allows or that gives the State Assembly the powers to conduct public hearing, investigative hearing, and I don't think the State Assembly would take that ruling.